Hello, everyone. Mayor Coral Evans here today with the other members of the Flagstaff City Council, as well as Police Chief Treadway, to talk very directly about the tragic deaths of Dion Johnson, George Floyd, and those who were killed before them. Our community values, how our police department views their role within our community, and how our community can move forward. What is on the other side of the protests and the marches? How are we going to make sure that we are listening to and acknowledging the legacy and the lived experience of people of African descent, African Americans, Black people in the United States, and how we as individuals, community members, Flagstaffians, Arizonans, and Americans can take what we hear and use that with intentional purpose to change the conditions for Black people in our community and in our country. Chief?
Thank you, Mayor. Hello, Flagstaff. My name is Kevin Treadway. I'm the current chief of the Flagstaff Police Department. I have served with this agency for well over 33 years, but I'm retiring before the end of June. I live in Flagstaff and I intend to remain here with my family, so I care very deeply for our community. I want to introduce my colleague, Dan Musselman, sitting to my right, who will assume the role of acting chief upon my retirement in 3 weeks. Chief Musselman is in support of what I'm about to say, and he's here to offer, we're both here to offer our assurances to our community that long after I am gone, our dedication to move forward in dialogue with our community remains. We want our community to know that the incident culminating in the death of George Floyd and others before him is unacceptable, and that our department and those who work here are very disturbed by what took place. The event has understandably created division and unrest in many parts of the country, including right here in Flagstaff. The Flagstaff Police Department has a history of working very closely with our community on issues of concern, and we are dedicated to engage in conversation as we move forward. The Flagstaff Police Department is a fine agency steeped in community policing and dedicated to transparency at a level that far exceeds most law enforcement agencies in the country. We hold our officers strictly accountable to our policies, investigate thoroughly and impartially citizen complaints that come to our attention, and update our policies frequently to ensure that they are best practice and contemporary. Our officers have received advanced training on fair and impartial policing and implicit bias as recently as last December. They regularly receive training on our use of force policies and de-escalation techniques. Our officers de-escalate incidents as quickly as possible, but especially once control has been established. Upon initial response, officers are allowed and authorized to respond to resistance within the law and pursuant to policy to gain compliance. Our training is continual, ongoing, and constantly updated with emphasis on life and safety. Our highest mission is the protection and preservation of life. We appreciate and respect the peaceful demonstrations that have occurred in the community over the past week, and our response to those events, as well as the actions of the citizens involved, reflects that Flagstaff is different from Minneapolis or other cities where violence or damage has occurred. Once again, we know there is a lot of conversation yet to occur, and our assurance is that we stand ready to listen and engage. Together, we can all emerge stronger, healthier, and more united as we better understand each other. Thank you.
So the issues we face run deep. For over 400 years, people of color have been oppressed by the systemic racism built into America's foundation. All people have not been treated equally. Every day we are faced with this harsh reality. The struggle continues all across America, especially for our Black, Brown, and Indigenous brothers and sisters. The solutions that were discussed in the past efforts 4, 60, 100, 400 years ago still resonate today. Why have the past movements fallen short? Why is the struggle that people faced then still exist today? When will we see lasting change addressed in the cracks of our foundation? Enough is enough. This moment of collective energy brings us a new hope to make lasting change. We have an opportunity to not just help the situation a little for a few, but we can redefine what equality and justice looks like in our country. It seems like what we have taken What would have taken 10, 20, 50 years can now hopefully be done in weeks. A portal has opened and we have an opportunity to step forward. This feels like a historic opportunity to make change that is rapid and lasting. I want to see real lasting change driven by those most significantly impacted. We need your voices. We need your passion, your wisdom, your stories, and your ideas. I remain committed to listening and learning from you. My job is to amplify your voices and set policy. We need all your voices at the table, and through collaboration, we can make change very much.
Hello, I'm Charlie Odegaard, the council member for the city of Flagstaff. What happened to George Floyd in Minneapolis, a town that I was born in, was completely injustice to all peoples here in the United States. It broke my heart to see that video, as it happened to everybody else who happened to see that video, of the injustice that happened that day and the death that followed. We, as a community of Flagstaff, is all inclusive. The community with unity is very inclusive in the city of Flagstaff. We are such a diverse community, with our indigenous neighbors to the north and to the east and to the northwest, with the Havasupai, the Wallapai, the Navajo, the Hopi. We're so inclusive. We've always been this way. And with all the demographics that are here in the community, we all go to school together. I went to Flag High, graduated a long time ago here in the city of Flagstaff. In the things that we see today, the injustice that we have witnessed with Mr. Floyd is terrible, that I believe all of us will condemn. So as we go forward here in our community in the city of Flagstaff, I can guarantee you we have a beautiful police force. Our police Chief Treadway, the Deputy Chief Musselman are the finest in the country, I believe. I know Chief Treadway always talks about how he likes to hold his force to a higher standard, which is great for a community as diverse as ours. So with that, I can promise you, me as a city council member, we take the diversity to the heart and take injustice to the heart, that we as a community will always do better when we see injustice. So in your promise to you that we will have better community relations as we go forward, as we have done in the past, because our police department has done very well in the past with community relationships. And so thank you for your support.
Hi, everyone. Jamie Whelan, council member. You know, the city's mission statement goes like to protect and enhance the quality of life for all. And we do mean all. We are committed as a council to listen, to learn, and to grow together. But this cannot be done overnight. We must take time. We must take time to listen and to share one another's thoughts and make sure everyone is represented in that community conversation. And then we will move forward mindfully. So thank you all for joining us. And we do protect and enhance the quality of life for all.
Hi all, I'm Council Member Austin Aslan, and our governor set up a curfew a week ago, and I remember talking to folks, and all of us had a common initial reaction to the curfew, which was a curiosity around whether or not it was necessary. And I think that speaks greatly to our community's common purpose and our community's collective consciousness for how we can manage a crisis and move through uncertain times. I'd like to take note of our city's common vision. I'm proud to be a member of the Flagstaff community and to represent your hopes and dreams on council. And listen, you know, for all of our foibles, and no one's claiming to be perfect, when I think of Flagstaff and when I go out and see and interact with Flagstaff residents and city staff and other city leaders, I do see a community committed to achieving a common set of goals, guided by common principles. Flagstaff strives to be safe, diverse, just, vibrant, and an innovative community with a unique character that seeks higher quality of life for all. Our city fosters and supports economic, environmental, educational, and cultural opportunities for everyone who calls this place home. And these are all ideals that our full council supports for every member of our community.
Hello, everyone. This is Jim McCarthy, council member. I just want to say that I'm sad and angry over George Floyd's death at the knee of a Minneapolis somebody. I do not use the term officer because he does not deserve that title. This type of assault is absolutely intolerable. For those of you that are livid at the police somebodies, I am with you. I would also like to say that I believe that every self-respecting police officer, like the Flagstaff police officers, feel exactly the same way that you and I do. At a time like this, I think of Martin Luther King. We need to move on with love, but resolve to eliminate such violence. So I want to thank each and every one of you for being part of the solution. Thank you so much.
Hi, everybody. I'm your council member, Regina Salas. We support your right to assemble and protest peacefully. We stand with you and are committed to growing as an inclusive and engaged community with unity in diversity. We are dedicated toward thriving as a unified community in adversity. With loving kindness, compassion, and respect, from my heart to yours, I'm sending Flagstaff a heart.
I wanted to come back and just let you know that council felt it's so important that we go on record and make sure you know that we understand and that we are listening, that we did not have the opportunity to host this for quorum purposes. So you do not see the dialogue and the engagement between council that you normally would in this format. We are looking forward to having a full vetting and a full conversation with the public and public comment so we can dive deeper into this discussion. But for now, that's why every council member is making a statement, but you are not hearing us, dialogue back and forth and have that conversation. In closing, I would just like to say these few things. I am the mayor of our beloved city. I'm also a Black woman. I'm the sister of a Black man. I'm the mom of a Black child. I'm the first Black woman to be elected mayor in the state of Arizona. And it is a position that I absolutely love and am very much so dedicated to. I will say that I have directly and intimately experienced racism, prejudice, and biasm. Just over this weekend, somebody referred to me on social media that lives here in Flagstaff as the dark-skinned mayor. This is about all of us recognizing when we have biases, and all of us recognizing that it's going to take a concerted effort to move forward. This morning, I had the opportunity to talk with Black elders in our community, and I'm going to have that same opportunity later on this week. They are currently working on a framework for a path forward. So after the protests and after the marches, we can come together as a community and have a dialogue and what that dialogue looks like and make sure that it's inclusive of everyone, but that it's driven by the African American and Black community who have this lived experience. And then from that dialogue, we can come out with a strategy, a plan that individuals, can themselves look at and determine what part they play in this, and then organizations such as our city. And so I'm looking forward to that conversation. It's a conversation that's definitely long overdue. But knowing Flagstaff, it's not a conversation that we cannot have, and it's not a conversation that we can't all grow and learn from, and there's nothing that we can't overcome. So on behalf of the Flagstaff City Council, I'd like to say thank you for giving us this opportunity to express how we feel about the deaths of Dion Johnson, George Floyd, and others who have come before, and what we plan on doing moving forward to making sure that we all are part of this inclusive community. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it.